Welcome to Talks and Sips. I am your host with the most, Jayfoxx. Tired of being at parties with nothing cool to say or having to partake in like soul-sucking small talk? I've been there, homies. Well, look no further. Grab your fave bevies and get ready to hear the new informationally funny 411 on today's show. Psst, guys, psst. Small talk me. Okay. What do you want to talk about? Just small talk me. I don't know. What like if we didn't know each other, just be like, what do LA people small talk about all the time?
What do they talk about all the time?
They talk about LA traffic.
All the time?
Yeah, it's like the South's version of the weather. Man, that weather's going to be rough next week. Man, that 405 is going to be rough in an hour.
Oh, it's raining. Don't go outside.
Don't go outside.
You don't want to get wet.
We don't have the infrastructure. Anyway, that's cool. That's great. Cool. But did you hear, guess that women working as writers has only increased 4% from 13% back in 1998 to 17% last year, 2021? Girl, that is rough. We need more women told stories, you know? You think Nora Ephron and Shonda Rhimes have been hospitalized, you know, because they're the only women in the top 10 best screenwriters list of all time?
I have to look into it.
Whoa. Okay, and just like that, we've already learned something together. Thanks, Talks and Sips podcast. Today's guest may just be able to give us more insight, but without further ado, a jingle. All right, I'm going to butcher this, everyone, because I'm sorry, Beyonce. Nana Kira is a female version of a hustler, Nana Kira is a female version of a hustler, Stop the track. Let me state the facts. I'm going to run out of track. Oh, no, I'm not. Woo! Okay. Stop the track. Let me state the facts. Gave me a few minutes. I said, girl, I only need 40 max. Pretty girl sing. Dude, this is so hard. How does she do it? Okay, she goes, pretty girl sing the world. And I said, yeah, get it right. And girl, yoga flowing. Yeah, she gon' get it. Hey, what's up, mama?
What's up?
Sorry, Beyonce. Please don't sue me for just butchering that song. But, you know, Akira is a female version of a hustler.
Yeah, that's right.
What's up, girl? Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm so excited to be here.
It's always a spectacle. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like spectacles.
Okay. All right. So you're here and you're a hustler, but what's like your main hustle?
Writing.
That's amazing.
At this moment, writing.
So please don't laugh at all the content I just wrote because I'm an amateur just doing my best out here, okay? Okay. So before we jump into the nitty-gritty and all the goods, what's your beverage? I know you were like, I'm feeling wine, so now we have some sweet. What's going on?
Well, this is my drink, and her name is Crystal Stripper.
Crystal Stripper. You know, I like it. She's transparent. She looks clean for a stripper. She's on lights right now, and she...
Full of alcohol.
And she's curvy. Do you want to show everybody your...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a name again for those that are just skimming.
This is Crystal Stripper.
Crystal Stripper. How does she taste good?
Oh, yeah, she's real good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, on my side, I have a soccer mom. She used to be cool. She was like, this is like Avril Lavigne if she let herself go. And she's a party on the inside because she's also white wine, and she's sweet, right? But she's edgy, and she's an edgy, like, soccer mom.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And but look at her. She's a fat bottom girl, too. Okay. Well, cheers, my lady.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm really glad. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, girl. The World Wide Web gave me some words, scriptures, if you will, of wisdom. So this is what I figured out. Women writers, like I said, only make 17% of writers in Hollywood today. That's a really small number in that large percentage scale. I got that from a study published on Variety. Apparently, women only make 20% of all directors, writers, executive producers, editors, cinematographers, etc. Like, What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think that the industry is still a boys' club, first of all, and they're always going to reach out to the men first. And the 17% it's mostly the most popular people, like Ava DuVernay, Nia DaCosta, and stuff like that. And those are the women that they're looking at, even though there's more women that do write.
Yeah.
They're only focused on the ones that are big names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they tried to make progress, and they had a whole thing saying this year we would have like 2 women per like Oscars and Emmys and stuff like that.
Starting 2022, right?
Starting this year. Like they were doing us a favor. Well, we'll show 2 of you guys all the time, you know? And it's like, there's more than 2 of us, though. So why is only 2 of us getting the
recognition?
Accolades? And, exactly. And so when you look at the percentage of women for I call it the lack of progress that's going on.
Yeah.
It's like we only increased from 4% because it was 13, and then we hit 4% more, so it's 17. And that is a super low number for all the women that are out there.
That's a tiny number.
Yeah, so I think the industry needs to step it up and start acknowledging all the women that are out there working very, very hard that don't get acknowledged at all. So many shows out there that are written by women, but you wouldn't know that.
Right.
You know?
Because there's no acknowledgement.
Exactly. Because you only hear the names of the people that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So it's like a repetitive thing, you know?
You know what? I'm in a tangent time. That didn't take very long at all. That did not take very long. I'm sorry. So my partner was part of a town hall meeting for a company, and there was a person there. He was an African American guy, and he was asked to pitch like an idea, and so he wrote this idea, and they basically were like, okay, we're gonna look at it, and then they looked at it, and they basically just kind of rewrote it.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were like, this isn't, and so it didn't like go over well because it was like, for him, it felt like a diss. It felt like, so you're saying that like the representation that needs to happen is by me being present, like by African American people being present, but not our stories. So for him, it was a total diss. Did I get that right? Yeah, sick. I got that right. My partner's here. And so that's what I feel like. Even, you know, you were talking about like Nia, right? Nia DaCosta. You're talking about, who else did you mention?
Ava DuVernay. And then it's also Issa Rae.
Yep, Issa Rae. And so I feel like how much, I guess, are we not seeing?
Yeah.
Right? That they're presenting stories. Like, are they presenting ideas? Are they getting full control of the creative output?
We're making strides as women. And we're going through that glass ceiling, but I think we need to push a little harder to get all the way through it. Just break it. Just break it.
Break it.
You know?
I love that. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Get to it.
Okay. So I know that you've probably signed a few NDAs at this point, and I get it. You know, you're in a writer's room, which I'm so honored to know you. That's so cool. What can you say about that world without getting all of us in trouble?
Ooh. Thing I can safely say is that when it comes to the writer's work, and once they start filming, everything is verbatim. There's no changing of words and anything. They are very, very strict on that. So if a word is in the script and it says honey, you can't change it to baby. It has to be exactly what it is. And so that's one of the big things there, is like no changing of the words, because each time that they film, the writer who wrote that particular episode is on set. And it's like disrespectful to them to change their words. And
I did read that on when I was taking, and we'll get into it, but I took during quarantine year. I feel like a lot of people were like, let me try stuff. And so I was one of them, and I wrote a pilot, but I didn't just write a pilot. Like, I took a whole Shonda Rhimes masterclass. Fantastic. And so one of the things that she was saying in that curriculum was that in film, the director is king. But on TV, the writers are. Yeah.
Yep.
It's 100%.
It's a true story. Yeah. I took her class too.
Hey, go Shonda! Class Shonda! Okay. Something that I learned on Shonda's, on her class that was like, okay, I can be a writer, sort of. And, okay, so she broke it down like an episode into 5 acts, right? So act 1 being, introduce your characters and present the problem.
Yep.
2, escalate the problem. 3, have the worst case scenario happen. I feel like this is an episode of This Is Us already. Act 4, begin the ticking clock. And Act 5, have the characters reach their moment of victory. And
Full circle.
full circle. So that was really cool because I tried to follow that myself.
Yeah.
Is that kind of your motto? Do you follow that when you're writing things?
Well, in school, they didn't teach us how to write series or episodes.
Oh.
They only taught us to do shorts, features, and stuff like that. So when I was getting to the point where I was trying to write a series, I submitted something to a festival, and they sent it back to me with a consideration. But they wanted me to make changes and stuff like that. And then they told me what I needed. And at the time, I had the master class, so I took it. And then I'm like, oh. So then I sent it back, and then I got to recommend.
Yes, queen.
So it's like it's like Shonda Rhimes killed it with that class.
That
man.
class. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it blew my mind. So yeah, definitely series is like a good way to go.
Yeah. I was Masterclass I think did a genius thing that year because they knew people were stuck at home and just like bullshitting all year long, right?
Yeah.
Because we were on fun employment. Come on now. But we really couldn't get out because we were so scared and we didn't know what was happening, right?
Right.
But they were really smart because they did the buy one, get one free for a year.
Yep.
And I don't have many regrets in life, but the regret from that year was that I only took her class and I was starting to peek into Aaron Sorkin's class. And then I was like, and then my free year ended and I was like, I'm not dropping another $275. Who do you think I am? I got it for $60.
And you know what? We got really, really lucky because when we were in school, we got the a year for $1.
Sick.
So I was excited that whole year just going. I took Issa Rae's class, but Shonda Rhimes is a shit though.
Dude, Shonda Rhimes is a shit. You just reminded me too. Okay, so speaking of deals, tangent, part 2. Speaking of deals, I'm 30 years old. I'm forever trying to learn how to play guitar. I own like 2 of them. I think I took a guitar class when I was like in summer school of 6th grade. And I did like 2 or 3 classes. I learned Feliz Navidad.
Nice.
And then I ditched my first period one time or something, and my mom got a call, and she looks over and she's like, yep, she's right here. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Have a good day. Someone had told him that I totally got to school like 2 hours late, and so we chose to walk home that day because we knew it would take us forever to get home,
right?
And we would miss math class. Yes. So my mom was like, you're not going back to that guitar class. And so the ongoing joke with my mom and I is like, I could have been like a legendary guitarist today.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. See how math helped me out? It took me real far. I still have a tax man. I don't even do my own taxes.
Look at you, Mom.
Look at you, Mom. Okay. Tangent over. How many stories are you sitting on now?
Of my own?
Yeah.
4.
And are these like episodics or is this a film? Are these films?
3 are episodics, 1 is a film.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wrote that one, and I'll tell you about it like off camera, but I don't know where you generate the ideas, man. Like,
you know what? It's crazy with me how my mind works is that I get a title first, and then I build my story off the title.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why I even talked to my screenwriting teacher at school, and she said that she's never met anyone that did it that way.
No, I mean, at least when I wrote my one pilot, 45 pages or whatever, I was like, what's the name of this thing? Like, it took me forever to figure it out.
Yeah, it's bizarre. My brain has always worked a little different than everybody else's.
That's okay.
So,
okay, that's why you're so special.
But it's working for me now. It's paying off, so yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about the short film that you wrote and directed. So here is a different part of your world where I thought it was fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So do you want to tell the people about that?
Sure. So it was one of my thesis, and it was called #trending.
#trending.
And it is telling a story basically of stuff that's happening now, which is modern blackface. Because oddly enough, you think in this time, in these days, that it wouldn't be happening, but it still is. I started the story because I kept hearing about it, and then I saw this girl on Instagram who was a white girl, but then she had a second account, and she was a black girl.
No, stop it.
Yeah,
no.
And her friends.
Boo, everyone boo that woman. Boo.
She actually got ratted out by her friends. her friends actually posted her picture side by side. And I was just like,
word.
People are still doing that? And then the chick, Rachel Dolezal, then she did it.
Oh, yeah, I heard about her, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, enough people. So I just built a story around those cases, but I kind of made it like it was a salon that white women would go to. And they can have this happen. And what they were doing was taking from Black people and Hispanic people, just taking their color, everything about them, you know?
This is like a hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take, guys. Hot take. Tangent number 3. I'm sorry. I do keep account of these because I did it in the previous season, so I was like, bro, I just keep derailing. Someone bring me back get me back on the track, please. But I actually had a friend who I used to do music with, and his roommate he was a white guy, and he voted for Trump and whatever, all of that aside, his fundamental core issue and what he tried to argue was that he's like, well, you know, Latinos have this type of culture, African Americans have this type of culture, you know, Asians have this type of culture. And like his issue was that he couldn't identify with the culture. And so he was like, this has to be my culture. I'll wear like you know, like that sweet bread.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll put it on everything. We'll put it on our purses, right? I have some taco earrings my mom just got for me. Right. Like, you know, there's just, and so for him, it was like, we don't have that, like, pride in something. Right. And so for him, it was like, this will give me that sense of pride. Obviously, you're looking for something.
Exactly.
Right, and that kind of goes back to what you're saying. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, it's very wild. And you see it more and more, people trying to adapt to other cultures and stuff like that. But that's what I based trending off of, was just that whole modern day blackface kind of thing, because it like really blew my mind that was still happening. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, and then I started seeing the old stuff, and then I looked, I'm just like, it's exactly the same thing, and I can't believe that people think that's okay.
How long is your short?
It is 14 minutes.
That's rad. That's super cool.
Yeah, and I loved every minute of it.
Sorry. So we took a quick break right now. You guys wouldn't know because I'm an editing queen. But I was trying to say, this is Talks and Sips, episode 5, scene 2, take 2. And then I was like, I'm not a second AC. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is very much... We're trying.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about trending. So you said, you know, off camera that you guys are in the, what do you call it, in the circuits?
Yeah, the festival circuits.
Festival circuits. So no one can see it.
No.
It's 14 minutes.
Yep.
When does everything happen? When do we see laurels?
Well, when the festival ends in August. So when that's done and all that stuff, then I can go ahead and proceed to show people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for now, all you guys get is this picture.
That's it. That's all.
But it's such a cool concept. And I just think I get mental block all the time. And I'm like, what? Why am I not more intellectual? God damn it. You know, like sometimes I feel like, why can't I? Whatever, dude. Akira be writing. Akira's in writers. She be writing. And she be writing in writers' room. So that's super cool. But we can't tell you which ones.
No.
Because NDAs are a real thing and they're frightening.
Yes. I want to keep my job.
And yeah, for sure. How did you even get started? Like, I want to hear give me your origin story. How did you even decide, like, I just want to write a bunch of shit and get paid? Like, how does that come about?
You know what? I started writing when I was about 10. We used to write little plays for our parents and act everything out in front in the neighborhood with all the parents come and sit out and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I didn't really think of it because I used it for therapy.
Oh.
After my father passed away, it was like a therapy thing for me. And so by the time I got to film school, it was just like this natural thing that I didn't realize that I had. Because when we had to write scripts, I would write them like, let me do this real fast and take me like an hour or so.
That's still pretty fast,
you know?
honey.
And then I'd turn them in and they're just like, when did you write this? And I'm like, 2 days ago. And they're like, no, you didn't write this 2 days ago. So I know and I appreciate the fact that I know how to write.
Yeah.
You know, that I have a natural talent for it, which I didn't realize, you know, until school, obviously.
Yeah. And just like I have a natural talent to not shut up. Continue.
And so
breaking the fourth wall every chance I get. Hey.
So yeah, it just came about, and And I just remember being up every night till like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and then going to sleep for 2 hours and getting up and go to work out.
Dang, girl.
And then start my day, you know? And it's like, I don't feel tired. It's always the one thing that brings me the most joy.
Yeah, because she built different. That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
I'm better than Ford.
Hey! That's awesome. What's like a moment that you remember? Because this has been a thing since you were a wee Akira, if you will. A wee one. And so was there like any pivotal moments that you can recall where you're like, it kind of just cemented it, like, I'm going to do this?
I believe.
Any traumatic experience?
Yeah, working with know-it-all boys in film school.
That'll do it.
I do believe it came when I started directing and writing at school. And then after doing my thesis, I was like, I don't want to be behind the camera.
Oh, that's good. But you never know. Like,
Yeah.
You never know unless you do it. I
Yeah.
felt that way about first aiding.
Yeah.
I did it a few times and was like,
No.
everyone hates you and you're just trying to help.
That's all you're doing. It's your job and they don't like you.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I mean, directing is fun, but writing, my heart was just there, and I realized that as school progressed, and I was like, I don't want to direct. I mean, I'll do it for fun, but not as a career.
That's
so
fair. Yeah.
writing is just the thing that's embedded in my heart. So
Where did you get your work ethic and all of that? Like, because you really are a hustler. I see you. Like, you go hard from working out, from, like, didn't you just buy a car cash? Like, yeah. Well, like, how does, how many people are in debt and car debt? Guys, I'm finally paying off my car in a week. But anyway, like, I shouldn't, like, I want to get to the level where, like, I'm buying me a Benz cash. Like, so much fucking discipline, boo. Like, what?
I mean, it's tough though, but I get it from, I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather was an architect, and my grandmother like ran the household. And she instilled that in us, to work hard, not to depend on people, not to be a little weak female out there in the streets, So we learned how to change tires, gas, oil, and everything by the time we were like between 10 and 12. And I got my first car when I was 15.
Wow.
And so we learned how to take care of our own responsibilities, not to depend on anybody, not to wait for something to be given to us, to go out and get it, is what she always taught us. Whatever you want, go and get it. Nobody's going to come to your door and say, hey, Kira, I got this for you.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
100%. Yep.
And I'm the kind of person, I will ask, even if I don't have the experience for something, I will apply for a job anyways.
That's fucking great, dude.
And then they see you come in, and like the script supervising thing, I didn't have any idea, and I applied to do it for a paid internship for Netflix.
Yeah.
And I got the job. I didn't know what I was doing,
Oh,
but I went and I learned, and now I know
you
how to do it.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm just getting that at 30 years old. Like I said off camera earlier, I was like, yeah, this is the first time in my life, in my professional life, and I've been working for a very long time, that I'm quitting a job, that I'm saying, okay, bye job. So actually and by the time this comes out, I would have already been weeks into my new job.
Right.
In that same right, it was like, oh man, I can't do this job.
Yep.
I'm going to apply for it anyway.
Yep. I'm going to do it anyways. Because I knew what it entailed.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed to know. And once I got there, they were just like, oh, you done this before? Nope, just today.
And they're like, you're about to learn today.
Yep.
You're going to learn today.
I'm going to learn today, and I sure did. And it's just crazy, though, because then jobs just came in after word of mouth after that. And I went from charging, like, the little bitty rates because I didn't know what I was doing to now I charge the full rate because I know what I'm doing.
Yes,
and they know who I am. They asking by name, so give me the money.
Hey, give me the money.
Show me the money.
Give me the money. Okay, so let's start, because now you're like in it. You've head first. You've ran into the races. What do you do outside of writing now that's keeping you sane?
Yoga.
Sick.
Hot yoga at that.
Hot yoga.
Yep, 7 days a week. 3 days I go twice.
Oh my gosh, you must be able to like be in a human like you could do all the letters with your legs, like YMCA.
Just about. Just about. And I know how to do splits now.
AKIRA. How do you do a K, guys? I don't know.
That's what keeps me sane, for sure.
Oh man, I gotta go. I want to come out with you one day. Maybe, I don't know. Part of this is like, I want to see inside of your world. The whole point is that during the podcast we get to talk about it, chop it up. But during the Patreon cuts, we get to kind of show. I don't do nearly enough yoga. But yoga is actually so clutch to climbing because there's so many movements, dynamic movements that you have to do with your body. Tangent, where you're like spread eagle, you know, you're just like you're like this with your legs and you know what I mean? Contortionist, right? Like, and there's times where I'll go rope climbing and like I'll have to do some type of splitty thing where I'm like really putting the weight on my toes and then like my hip will lock up. Girl, bye. I'm like, I guess I'm done. There was a time where I had to do what they call mantling, and it's basically like you're putting your hand here, you're putting your hand here, and like spread out. And I tried to do this thing where I had to reach up, so I like do like this cork thing, and then as soon as I did that, my shoulder locks up, and I was like, bye,
like, bye, bitch,
bye. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, yoga. I feel like a lot of people think yoga is very like.
I think it's easy.
They think it's easy, but they also think it's cultish.
No, it's not.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first.
One thing it's not. It's not cultish. I can promise you that.
You're doing so much stretching all day, right?
And see, that's another thing. It's not stretching. It is literal work.
All right, bitches. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that should prove the point. I don't do yoga. For Patreon, we are going to go yoga with Akira.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come and watch me do my warrior
Yes,
twos.
we're going to get all the...
These guns. This come from yoga.
Those aren't for free. Those are not for free. Those are the real deal. Okay. Well, I got this from the climbing gym I used to work at, but they said like they have this big audacious goal. It was called like a BHAG, a big, maybe heavy, audacious goal or something like that. Or yeah. So what's like your version of that?
My goal is to put on. I want shows on Netflix and HBO.
Yes, queen.
I want to write for both of those because I have some stuff that Netflix won't show that HBO will, and so I want to kind of go on both of those.
That's
I don't see myself wanting to write films really.
Really,
I really think I just want to be in television because I want control over my work. And when you're in film and you write and you take it to them, they can change the story up any way they want to.
Yeah.
When I write a story, I want it to be as it is.
Yeah.
And so I want to go to streaming. Then, of course, I buy me a beautiful home on the beach.
Oh, you know.
Travel the world.
You know.
All of that. All that good stuff.
All the good stuff that comes with having just like comfort.
Yeah.
Having the quality of life.
Yep.
Tangent. I'm pretty sure that's the fifth one. I recently met my partner's siblings and they're just like, yeah, like, I was like, I don't know. We're just out here, Californians, like not like were you born out here?
Oh yeah, born and raised.
That makes sense. See that
in Hollywood.
That's huge. Okay, you're just like so used to the grind. So I have a few friends that were born and raised out here in California, and they took off. One lives in Michigan. One's now in Tennessee. Where's the other one at?
Tennessee.
Oh, one's in Milwaukee, and they just and it's just a slower pace of life. It's just take a big deep breath. We don't have to run all the time. Right. And I kind of got a taste of that. And I'm like, man, no wonder. Like, I've just functioned at a state of running all the time. Yep. Like, and it has to be because of our environment.
It is.
Right?
It definitely is. Yeah, absolutely. Because you always feel like you have to beat the next person. It's not really a race with other people. It's kind of like just a race with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just want to evolve as much as you can.
But you feel like that you have to get to this pivotal, point, of all the highest one, you know what I mean? You have all these people coming behind you and people in front of you, and you're kind of, it's like a like a rat race.
Yeah, it's like an unnecessary competition. You're not necessarily trying to like step on anybody, but because the competition's there, you gotta like stay on top of it.
And you know why we do it though? We do it because we feel like we're supposed to be at a certain point at a certain time in our life.
100%.
Because society makes you feel that way.
Right. I remember being a little girl and being like, I should be, and I've always, since I was like 9, I can recall like always thinking, I should be doing this.
Right.
I should be here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's because people are looking at what societal norms, and that's not normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
I'm going back to therapy, y'all.
But people think that it is, you know, and it's like a shitty thing that people have embedded in their heads, like, oh, I have to go. And that's why people are always so fucking exhausted.
Right. And that's actually what now as a society we're dealing with. And it's actually coming, it's kind of bubbling to the top where everyone's like, oh, people are dealing with fatigue and exhaustion at another level, but it's not like a physical one.
Nope. It's all mental.
It's all mental.
Yeah. And that's why people are like fucking going through mental anxiety and stuff all the time, because it's like but a lot of people are in competition with other people. They don't know how to just focus on their own lane.
Right.
They're like, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have to just focus on your own stuff. And that's how I get through. I just focus on me.
And I love that you're saying that, because I know that I in the past have felt that way in myself, and I'll wake up like on the wrong side of the bed, right. if you will, and I have to verbally, like I'm a psycho. I'm like a psycho talking to myself in third person. I'm like, you're not gonna talk trash about that person in your head. That's not who you are. And if that's who you are, you're not trying to be that person. Like I have, like if I'm outside of myself, I have to step outside and be like, you're literally ruining your own day thinking ill thoughts about certain people. What they do has nothing to do with you. And it's just like a retraining of the mind. And it is statistically and scientifically proven that as human beings, we're like just really, it's our natural being to think negatively. It's so much easier for us to think negatively than to think positively. It is. Because that takes a lot of work and effort, like to be happy for people, genuinely.
My grandmother used to always tell me things like, it's easier to be like pouty face than to smile. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to frown than it is to smile.
That's why the Kardashians are always like...
Exactly. So much easier for them, you know?
Right? But if you do this, oh, my Fraulines. My Fraulines.
Exactly.
I'm going to need Botox for this.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The society just has everybody all messed up in the head. Yeah. And that's what it is. And I feel like people they need something to believe in, so they believe just about anything. Then
we need you, Akira. The fucking society needs you to write them stories.
I'm coming.
She's coming, guys. She's coming. That's rad, and you're gonna get it. And it sounds like you've found balance with yoga, so that's really cool. Like
it helps me because I have like severe anxiety.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when the pandemic first came, tangent. I'm just kidding.
She fucking did it, you guys. She fucking did it.
But when the pandemic hit, I had a whole routine: school, workout, go to different sets, and all this other kind of stuff. When it came, I had panic attacks for like 2 weeks straight every night. Just woke up, couldn't breathe, you know? And so I started running. Then I fucked up my knee because I don't know how to run. And I was out there hitting that pavement. My doctor was like, bitch, what are you doing? You're not a runner? You don't know how to run, you know? And as soon as the yoga studio opened back up, I was just like, thank God. And I was in there, and I feel like everything just kind of like on this cool little wave now. Yeah. I'm ebbing and flowing, you know, just going. So,
I have a trainer now, and I got really lucky with him because... Plugging my Thai trainer on Instagram. No, but he really understands, and he has like just a giant heart. And my sister's like really good friends with him, so I got like, you know, you gotta get a hookup, right? But I remember just like waking up one day and being like, oh, just like in a pouty, like ungrateful mood. And then I was like, you know, like again that third person psycho, like it's not psycho, but you're just checking yourself, right? And then I'm like, all right, you understand that when you go and you work out, it's going to be really, really hard. And you're going to take so many breaks. And it's just going to be like the most humbling experience. And when you're done and you've burned 700 calories in an hour and a half or 2, like you're going to be high off of whatever your brain is doing, right? But you're also going to just be grateful. Yeah. And all of the other stuff's going to melt away.
And it's true. Yeah. It's true. Every time I leave out of yoga class, I feel so like zenned out, just very mellow and relaxed and accomplished, you know? Yeah. And then the rest of my day just kind of flows the same way. That's great. Yeah. And I feel like when I miss a class or something, I feel like I'm a little off. Yeah. You know, because I'm like...
You don't know what it is. Yeah. You can't put your finger on it. Well, you can.
But yeah, I think that's very, very correct.
And I'm excited. I wish to see trending, and I wish to see anything else that you end up writing.
Oh, thank you.
It's gonna be really cool.
I'm excited. Thank you.
You're freaking beast, bro. Woo!
Beast mode.
Beast mode. Okay, I have a single game. Okay. Of Would You Rather. What do you know about how writer Aaron Sorkin operates?
What I've heard of him before is that he's a hard ass. That is his way or no way. And
that's what I'm hearing too.
Like I was saying, he reminds me a lot of Woody Allen. Woody Allen was a real control freak on all his sets and stuff too. And I feel like that's what how Aaron Sorkin is as well, you know.
Okay. So recently, my mom and I were watching Being the Ricardos on Amazon. Did you watch it?
I did.
It was fan-freaking-tastic.
It was so... Nicole Kidman did a great fucking job as Lucille Ball. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. to me, it just felt like so airtight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like every scene was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So here's something I found. Okay, so Sorkin told Nicole Kidman, this is hearsay. Sorkin told Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem, who played Lucy and Ricky, obviously, end quote, he goes, I am not looking for an impersonation of the real people. He goes, this isn't Las Vegas, and you guys are not Elvis impersonators. I want you to play the characters in the script.
Right. Be them.
Black and white,
That's
baby.
it. Mm-hmm.
That's it. I don't want you to, whatever. So it's definitely a tight ship. But because of that, it kind of reminded me of an episode in Seinfeld. Yes. And it's the soup Nazi. Have you seen that one? He's no soup for you. And I just feel like Aaron Sorkin might just operate that way when he writes and directs. And so just for funsies, this is like, oh my God, this is
Good
them
afternoon.
like getting soup.
One
For those that
large
don't know.
crab bisque to go.
Elaine's always a troublemaker.
Always.
Red. Beautiful.
You're pushing your luck, little man.
Because in the previous time, eating it red.
Right.
Or soup, for that matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey there.
I just feel like if Nicole Kidman came at Aaron Sorkin like that,
Right. I mean, same way.
right, he'd be looking at her like, this bitch. I fucking love that phrase, by the way. It's my favorite phrase. This bitch.
You know what? Has anyone ever told you look exactly like Al Pacino? You know, Scent of a Woman. Hoo-ah!
She is the worst.
She's the worst, dude.
You know something? Nothing for you!
This is right here. Oh, no, wait, not this scene. This scene's pretty funny, too.
Sister, you're on deck.
Where he's like, they're like making out or whatever.
Hey! Uh-oh. What is this? You're kissing in my line? Nobody kisses in my line.
I can kiss anywhere I want to.
You just cost yourself a soup.
Would you leave your man if he did this to you?
Jerry, we're leaving.
I want some soup. That would be me waiting for soup.
You're Jerry. You're like, do I know you? Do I know you?
I would totally be Jerry right here.
Do I know you?
This line right here, though.
Perfection from yourself, from your soup.
How can I tolerate any less from my customer?
So I love that line because Kramer goes, he goes, you work so hard for your soup and
Right.
blah 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 blah. He
Right.
goes, how can you expect any less?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes, exactly. You understand
Somebody gets
me.
it.
Somebody gets it. If I'm working this hard for the soup, I expect no less from my customers.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's super true to Aaron Sorkin because it takes him like 2 years per project, which is like mind baffling
Yeah.
to me.
It's crazy.
2 years to really just tighten it. That's insane. Okay, so now that we're back from that tangent, would you rather have to co-write with Aaron Sorkin, where you see him every single day for 2 years, and maybe he's really pleasant to write with or something. Maybe he's flexible. I don't know the man, but I've heard rumors. Or would you rather get a writing gig with Shonda Rhimes, but it can only be about the hardships of the 2020 pandemic year? So you know how This Is Us just makes you cry all the time?
All the time.
All the time. People
Every
are just,
time.
I walk in on my mom.
Every episode, every fucking episode.
Okay, so these are your options. Which one would you rather?
Oh, I'm definitely going to go with Shonda Rhimes. I write about a fucking pandemic
All day.
All day.
And there's never any happy point.
Oh, well.
Sorry, Aaron Sorkin. Boo. Sorry, bro. I would choose the same, TBH. I'm not even a writer, but Shonda just seems like the best
Chill,
choice.
right?
Yeah. She says she's like the GOAT for a reason.
Right.
He's up there too, but she's known to incorporate people, to
Yes.
bring people up, to, Shondaland, like, oh, I forgot to show you guys earlier, and you. So this is my notebook. This is my notebook. It's really thick. She's thick, okay, with 3 C's.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Thicker than a Snicker. Okay. And this is literally like all my notes that I would write every single day while I was in Shonda Rhimes class, like learning about how to write a series. Because I'm old and analog. It's like how to structure a pitch. Start with the premise.
Yes.
Right? Like, focus on characters. Practice your pitch. Oh, that's just how to show. Okay. Or here, like, map out A, B, and C stories. I love that. So guys, check out that.
I love that. I've taken her class so much.
Oh, good. And do it again.
For real.
Okay, so the next thing I like to jump on with guests is sips of judgment. So I think sips of judgment can be kind of harsh to some people because, well, we're judging, but we're not. We're all human, so we're just all giggling together. It's fine. So I know you like yoga, and also finding writing mishaps. Like, I usually, I'm very simple. I'm a very simple-minded human being. I go, blah, 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 fails. And I typed in writing fails on Google, and I was like, this has been fruitless. There was nothing here. So I was like, okay. So instead I thought maybe yoga, and the internet never fails when it comes to that. So also, I'm looking at you, Hollywood. The 17%, that's the biggest fail.
All time.
Of all time. Okay, so here is, so that's cute, right? Lovers. Oh, look, they're kissing. Josh and I will do that, and it'll look like that. Wait, this one's great, too. I've always wanted to be a mermaid. I thought I was a mermaid. Oh, no. Her phone's about to get wet. Okay, so that's pretty good.
Oh, my gosh.
And so, in sips of judgment, like, it's like, okay, are we spitting out our drink? I mean, please do it metaphorically, because we can't afford wetness on technology.
Oh, my gosh. I am dying.
Dude, those feels are great. And then I just found a few more, and I felt like, oh, maybe this is relatable for yogis out there and Akira. And so the picture here, it's like the instructor doing, first time doing yoga, and the instructor just looks like a noodle, like just noodle. And then the person on the right, it's like me. It's like, what are you doing? Who are you? And here's a cat in the hat doing yoga. And so and I'm sure we've all had those peacock friends. I'm a peacock friend. Like, we're all peacocks, And it's like, look at me now. I'm holding this pose with a book on each hand and a cane on my nose. On the top of my hat, there's a cake and a cup. Now, what will I do? Maybe. And the guy next to him is like, shut the fuck up. The cat on the mat.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, last one. And it's like, and I wanted to actually ask you, and it's like, clear your mind. And you got to say it like that, right? Because it's all about zenning.
Right, exactly.
Clear your mind. And then, what is this pose?
That is called downward dog.
Downward dog. And what is this person saying?
I have the ugliest toes.
Has that ever crossed your mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're like, God, I need a pedicure.
Exactly. I've done that so many times, like, damn, I need to make an appointment. And then I'll start looking at my hands.
You're like, ooh, now I need a manicure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And, dude, I'm so stoked for what's to come for you. Just keep going,
and me
girl.
for you, too.
Thanks, Mama.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Get it, girl?
Thanks. Okay, so we probably did, 6, 7 tangents? I've gotten really bad about counting these, but I just know that I got to do a tangent count at the end. So let's just say we did 7. Yay! Okay. So, provocatively, meow. What would you like more people to talk and sip about?
Ooh.
I know, that one's deep. Or it don't have to be deep. It could be like, why is Chipotle Ranch hard to find at the stores?
No, you know what? I think the things people need to talk, because people are so afraid to, when it comes to like race and stuff like that, I feel like people are so uncomfortable with those conversations.
Absolutely.
And so it's always assumptions behind different things, when I feel like people should be able to just sit at a table together and talk, ask questions. What you don't know, you shouldn't guess about other cultures and other races and stuff. And I feel like people should just sit and talk about it and should be comfortable talking about it. You know what I mean? Because we all live here together. And if we want to get to know each other instead of making those accusations about, oh, all black people are this, all Hispanic people are this, all white people are this, ask questions, talk about it. It's a conversation that people are so uncomfortable having. You know what I mean?
And that goes kind of back to what the tangent I had earlier about my musician buddies roommate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and obviously I wasn't in the room when that happened,
right.
But I almost wish I was, because I am very much the why person about everything. Right. I need to know why. Yeah. So I would want to talk to him about that and be like, okay, what part of you feels like kind of at a loss,
right?
You know,
exactly.
And my buddy, again, going back to like the uncomfortable, and I just think a lot of people avoid these uncomfortable conversations, and that's why so many relationships fail, because it's like they're afraid to have these check-ins and be candid and being transparent and be in those uncomfortable conversations that sometimes are very necessary, right?
Yeah.
And so like my buddy, he was just like, oh, you know,
because he didn't know what to say.
He didn't know what to say.
Right.
He didn't want to engage further. But like, this is his roommate / best friend. I think, and I could be assuming, you know, maybe he was like looking for some comfort or a different perspective or something.
Right. And
I got nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's what people do. I had a friend recently that I went off-roading with. She's a white girl. And she said that she feels foolish about the things that she like assumed and she didn't know. And I said, well, you can always ask somebody, like a black person, a black woman. And she's like, well, I don't think it's a black woman's place to teach me about this. I'm like, well, who else's place is it? If it's about black women, only a black woman can teach you.
Right.
You can't Google.
Right.
You know, you can ask another white girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like things like that. People are afraid, or they think that it's wrong to come to you and say, hey, is this true, and ask the question or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, and I prefer people to ask than just assume or go on Google and say, well, I read on Google. Fuck Google. Google doesn't know anything about black culture unless they put it in there. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And who's the one putting it in there?
Exactly. We don't. Yeah. Or sometimes you don't even know who's putting it in there. But yeah.
And I think that's great.
And I think it's important.
Don't be weirded out by the outcome.
No.
You're just sitting in a quiet room together like,
talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
that was awkward.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Okay, guys. Well, all right. That wraps us up. Yes, that wraps us up. So, okay, this is my last spiel for you beautiful people out there. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to Sent to Destroy Studios and Chris Bonifay for having me here in his studio space. Without you, I would not be here. Music producer Benny for that jingle that I butchered the hell out of that earlier. Creative producer Joshua Taylor for, just being the best in the West. Extra equipment, Ted Lee Jones. That's how you can see Akira. Thanks, Ted. I also want to give a huge thanks to the visual graphics that you see on social media and on the show, to Eric Ayala, because he makes them. And you, my beautiful guest, Akira Tashi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for carving out time of your day. Okay, and last but not least, and not by any means, thank you guys, as the listeners, for listening every single week. Make sure to catch this week's Patreon, because we're going to be, watching her do all of this stuff.
All the stuff. All the things.
All the stuff. All the yoga stuff. And it's only $5 buckaroos a month, guys. Buckaroos a month. 5. That's it. It's a quick cup of coffee or a quarter the cost of avocado toast. Come on, support your girl. In each weekly episode, like I said, we talk about guest experiences. As you just heard, we chopped it up while learning and laughing along the way. Live, love, laugh. But on Patreon, you get to see it firsthand for yourself. So help a girl out. Become a patron. All right. Make sure to follow Akira at I am Akira Tashi for more writing and yogi hustle flow. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Talks and Sips, and myself, Jayfoxx, with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in to talksandsips@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, or you can just, write in and talk shit, whatever. Like, I'd love to hear from you either way. Message the pod on Insta for merch, and check out the website for more on talksandsips.com. Wow, like this merch. And would you know it? My ponytail fits.
Perfect.
All right, guys, I have been Jayfoxx, and you have been
Akira Tashi.
All right, we're out of here. Bye.